Welcome back to the 7997 podcast. We are your hosts, Chris and Jacki.
Hello.
And as always, every week, every day, every year, every minute, every second, every hour.
Oh my Lord.
We are just trying to get closer to each other and closer to you.
Y'all know he lying.
And this week, we're
every minute, every second of what are you
every
talking
second,
about?
every hour.
Oh my God.
Pretty sure it's a song lyric.
I'm about to say it sound like one of them 90s y'all Nehu songs.
No. This is more New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley. Every second, every minute, every hour. Bam, 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 bam.
But y'all excited? Politics in the U.S.?
Oh yes, it's a mess
situation. What'd you just say?
It's a mess as usual.
Oh well.
It's different. It's exciting.
It's interesting.
And I think the question this week is: there's a lot of excitement around Kamala and the new running mate Walz.
Mm-hmm.
They're raising money like nobody's business. The hope is that, if they win, they start to change the perception of America and its politics and hopefully make some permanent good change. I don't know if I believe all that's going to happen just from this one presidency, but
it can happen.
It's hopefully at least a roadblock to go in the other direction for some amount of time. The question is, if Kamala gets elected, are we going back?
So first of all, Vice President Harris.
Kamala's my girl, okay?
And Governor,
I'm not a journalist. I'm not up to all the rules of having to call her the right name and the right
Walz,
title. I just call it how I see it. I'm not on CNN right now.
Anyway, would we go back? Man.
Actually, before we answer that question, let's ask this question. Why did we leave? And then we can see if we left for these reasons, have these reasons changed enough for us to go back?
Right.
So.
Man, that's a good question, babe.
While you think about it, some of the reasons we left, obviously politics is part
of it. That's good. Do a rundown. Yeah. Do a little checklist.
Obviously, Trump's presidency changed the dynamics of politics in the U.S.
Did it?
It became a lot more complicated, complex in a lot of ways. I will give them credit for being creative with the ways that they want to make things change.
Is that
the Supreme Court, justices in, stacking the federal courts with judges,
just crooked and evil,
crazy executive orders.
Oh my gosh!
Just doing pretty much whatever they want, and saying, "Okay, test me and see if you can kind of, knock down whatever I'm trying to do."
Yeah.
So that environment politically was just really charged. I think there's an America now where it's hard to have a conversation about any type of politics without there being sort of this really diametrically opposed, angry, furious conversation sometimes.
Like an East and West, right? Oil and water kind of thing, yeah.
So that's kind of one thing. But also I think that political climate also helped to fuel the violence that goes on in America. And that's not to say that the violence wasn't there before Trump. Right. Obviously, none of that violence is new.
Right.
But I think people that maybe were quiet about their racist intentions and the violence they might connect to it have stopped being so quiet about it and have no problem, expressing that violence along with it.
Yeah, thus the births of the Karens and Kens.
Karens and... Is it Karen Kens? Ken is the other one?
I think Ken is the guy. If
okay. Okay.
If not,
that's news to me. I didn't know that. Ken was the official.
Live. Recorded or whatever. On the 7997 podcast, the male counterpart to Karen is Ken. Y'all drop a comment if I'm right. I think it is Ken though.
So a couple episodes we coined the phrase brown collar job. So now we're coining the phrase Ken as opposed to Karen.
You're welcome.
Okay. So politics, we're looking at violence, obviously the racism in the country. Affordability, cost of living. And I think people like to think about, there's a black person elected as president. That means racism's over.
Yeah, yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
So
let me tell you how you know racism isn't over.
Yeah.
I think everybody on Vice President Harris's VP list were all Caucasian.
Yeah.
So racism is not over.
Yeah.
Because guess what? She could have been like, you know what? My girl Condi Rice says she'll change her R to a D. Maybe I'll look at Condi Rice or Gretchen Whitmer or Well, but a female as well, right? But
so it's not only racist,
it's sexist as well, exactly. Because there could have been a whole lot more options, right? Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, and if you're from Maryland, you know how to say Maryland, but Governor Moore, right? So her entire list, if I'm not mistaken, was 100% Caucasian.
Yeah.
Maybe Governor Whitmer, maybe Amy Klobuchar, maybe hit the list.
She was on the list or not.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I saw 99 men folks on that list. So yes, America is still sexist and is still racist.
Right. But we might elect a black Indian woman as president.
Yeah, but
racism's
to
over.
be comfortable, we have to have
racism's over, everybody.
We have to have a Caucasian young man, to balance her out. Same what happened with President Obama. Yeah. He picked Joe Biden. Right.
Sleepy Joe. Yeah.
He had to have, I call him, y'all, President Papa Joe. He had to have
Grandpa.
Papa Joe, right. A white man that can vouch for me. And America is just that way.
Yeah.
But good things came out of their presidency. You know what I mean? A lot of that whole ACA, what was it, the Affordable
Care Act.
Yeah. What a blessing that was for not just some people, but a whole lot of people. Not just Democrats, but Republicans too.
And the official name is Obamacare.
Is it really?
No, but we're going to call it Obamacare. So we know who to attribute it to.
And you're welcome, Mr. Obama. Thank you very much, right? But I think something like that could happen with the Harris-Walz kind of a presidency.
Right. So at the end of the day, we live in these, as they say, unprecedented times.
Correct.
One candidate is a convicted felon. We have a president who...
Still crazy, still evil. And his new sidekick, all help us, Jesus, JD.
He's
keep
a special
moving.
guy.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, they say they're weird people.
They're evil and just crazy. Go ahead.
The current president has stepped out of the race. And has then made way for the vice president to kind of step up behind him. And it was weird. There's a video from, I want to say late 60s, early 70s, Gerald Ford. Was it Gerald Ford? Maybe it's Gerald Ford. I may forget the right president. But it was a young girl who asked him at a speaking engagement or something like, do you think a woman will ever be president? And he said, yes, I do. But I think what will happen is the president will be a man, the vice president will be a woman, and the president will die, and then she will take his place.
Really?
So, like, he predicted it literally decades ago.
Oh,
Granted,
wow.
Joe didn't die. But,
Right.
Health issues obviously took him out. So it's interesting that somebody kind of looked forward enough to see that situation.
It could happen.
Like, it wasn't going to be a straight up,
Right.
Put her on the ticket and she's going to win.
Correct.
If Kamala wins this time, then maybe next time it becomes a straight up a woman on the ticket winning.
And let's be clear, this is not the first time women have run for office.
Oh, no, for sure.
You have Shirley Chisholm. Obviously, you have Hillary Clinton. I cannot remember other women who, if y'all remember, and got your history, your A's and B's in history, drop that comment. But I definitely remember Shirley Chisholm. And I remember, obviously, like I said, Hillary Clinton. Do you know of any other women who have just gone straight out there?
Elizabeth Warren.
Well, they ran. Yeah, that's true. That's
Klobuchar and Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
A lot of women
good.
have
Dang,
run.
you see that? That's why I keep him around.
Those are folks that kind of got weeded out in the primaries.
Right. Correct.
But yeah, a lot of women have run. Nobody's kind of made it to the mountaintop just yet.
Yeah.
I think Hillary's probably the closest so far.
Hillary. Hillary and Hillary and. Well, I guess Hillary did get the nomination.
Yeah.
She did. And then, sexism came on in. They'd rather have Trump than a woman.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So, other things happening in these unprecedented times is that the Republican Party has their Project 2025 put together, which is meant to sort of reshape government in their own image, stack the deck in their favor, put people in... get MAGA-affiliated people in pretty much as many positions as they can.
My Lord. Literally going back from a historical lens, like back to Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And even Trump himself kind of hinting at in one of his speeches that, hey, once I get elected, you won't have to vote anymore. And like,
y'all better be listening.
We don't know exactly what that means, but it doesn't sound like democracy at the end of the day.
What? It don't sound right.
So putting all that together, I guess the what Kamala and Walz have to do at this point is solve racism.
You're welcome.
Solve systemic racism. Fix the politics.
You could do it.
Get rid of the violence.
Hey.
And stop Trump from trying to do whatever. Well, I shouldn't even say Trump. The Republican Party from trying to do whatever they're trying to do.
The whole movement, right?
And then lower the cost of living to something that's maybe even competitive with what we have in Mexico.
Right. Can
she do it? Is she your girl for that?
She'll need 8 years.
She'll need 8 lifetimes to do that.
Well, without sounding creepy, well, no, I can't even say that. I can't even say that. I was going to say a lot of these people who are establishment kind of folks, right, who are keeping their nasty, evil, divisive hopes alive and all those dreams alive, I was going to say a lot of those keepers of their dream nightmare for most of us, they're going to be dying off soon. And again, I don't want to sound creepy. However, they have the J.D. Vances. They have the younger folks coming behind them.
Ideas don't die with people.
That's right. And let me tell you, we were just looking at the 1968 documentary, and that's why I had to correct myself. Because I'm like, well, cool. Well, maybe some of those folks with those ideologies are dying off. I'm not saying I'm waiting for people to die, but what I am saying is that it is a natural thing, right? And a lot of those torchbearers are aging. I mean, Trump he's 78, so let's stop playing, right? McConnell and all other people who were carrying his water and fighting his fight, they're aging out. But you can't kill the dream. Right. The dreamer can die, but you still have their negative ideologies around. So, and people who are willing to fight for it or die for it, whatever. So the question is, would I consider going back? Things would really have to be. It would have to just be so much more substantially better, right? So, from my understanding, in Minnesota, where Governor Walz is located, right, he took an approach that had the people first. Now, if he can get that to translate around the world, around our country, then we actually may have a fighting chance, right? So if it's okay with you guys, he goes, I'd like to go ahead and fight for kids to be able to have breakfast and lunch for free. So free meals, that's something that you can put your vote behind. Healthcare. So they have proper health care. Irrespective of what people do with their bodies and their lives, they have proper health care. You know what I mean? And it's affordable. But something that stuck out to me is the affordable college. Right? So I haven't done any research on it, just based off of what I have heard. It's families, if they make under $80,000, and I apologize for not doing a little bit more research, guys, but just from what I've heard, remember, I heard it, it's not gospel. If the families in Minnesota make under $80,000, tuition is free. And normally that goes to a local community college or a state-run university.
You're not getting into Harvard with that.
Right, you're not, right, exactly. You're not going to Harvard. So it's like, oh, that is so common sense. That is so, when you start having policies for people, then that's something I can get behind. You know what I'm saying? Now, I saw our last water bill. It was 200 pesos.
209 pesos. I just paid it yesterday.
And that was for 2 months.
No, water bill's 1 month.
Oh, I thought it was 2 months.
No, 1 month.
He pays the bills. Go ahead.
Which is about
$11.
$11, yeah.
So America still can't play with the utilities. Like our most expensive electric bill was on 100-degree temperatures in May and June, and our electric bill finally got over $50, $60, right?
Yeah, it was $75 for 2 months.
So so America still has the
advantage in that, in the cost of living category.
They gotta come up.
I mean, obviously there's more things that draw us back other than those key points. Obviously, we have family back home.
Yeah. And safety, babe. I've been talking about, but safety is big.
Yeah,
it's big because that was the straw that brought the camel's back for me. Going to go vote, and then having that doggone pickup truck with those guys and all those flags, and it wasn't just Trump flags, it's the American flag, and it's just like, and I have folded up American flags like from my dad and from G-Dad, so I know that they are not the only ones that can claim the flag as theirs. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they have the flag and his flags and driving by, and terrorizing the complex as we go vote. I mean, I need to be able to feel comfortable that my fellow countrymen are not going to not only terrorize my community, not terrorize me, but also that my law enforcement personnel are going to be there to help me too, not hurt me, because there's still things popping off now. You know what I mean? As of a couple of weeks ago, people getting hurt in their own homes. So yeah, America still has a lot to do.
But a vote for Kamala fixes all those things instantly.
And
just like that.
Insane.
As soon as you pull that little the whole world just changes, rainbows appear in the air.
And then everyone's wearing pink and green and purple.
Everybody turns into AKA.
Everybody turns to an AKA. Oh, Lord.
So I'm going to add a wrinkle into it, I think.
Help us, Lord.
Where I was going before I was so rudely eloquently interrupted.
You're welcome.
There are other things that I think could draw us back.
Okay.
That would make us deal with those issues, withstand those issues. Grandchildren are always a big influence.
And I'm not rushing nobody.
Definitely not rushing anybody anytime.
Seriously,
soon,
we're not.
Because we want to stay away as long as possible without any real draw. Because our kids are grown. Like, they're grown.
They're grown.
Yeah. I don't have to be back for y'all. They're adults. That's your life. But then when you get the little person, it's like, okay, you want to spend some time with the grandchild. You don't want to be super far away. So that's something that could, at least I think, make us think a little bit more seriously about going back. But I think I wouldn't necessarily, I would think about the way that I went back.
Right.
Where would I live? How much I would spend. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if I necessarily want to be in a super big city. I might want to be in a small town outside of a big city. I don't think it's necessarily anywhere that's necessarily super safer than anywhere else necessarily.
Because America has,
Southside Chicago versus small town Iowa. There's a difference there. For
sure,
sure,
but America has sort of kind of broken down all those boundaries.
Just as many guns as Southside Chicago. They just happen to be automatic rifles, and they go hunting with them.
Hey.
But I would think that would be the one thing that would kind of tip the scales a little bit, is having more family back home to connect to.
Yeah.
Which at the very least would make us, I think, travel back home more than we do.
Yeah.
So I would say that. Do I think Kamala will fix the political situation? I think it's going to be just as divided as it always is. Usually once one president comes into the power, the Congress kind of flips into the opposite direction, so then it always becomes this roadblock of getting any legislation done.
Hopefully that changes, though. Y'all vote in your local elections. Sorry, go ahead. That was a PSA.
Cost of living is going to be about the same. I'm sure we can find places that are cheaper to live in the U.S. than where we were in North Carolina, which North Carolina was very inexpensive, and now, particularly in Charlotte where we were, is a lot more expensive now.
Off the chain.
A little crazy there. I don't see the violence changing very much. I think once they get in the office, they'll do away with automatic guns at least, which would be helpful.
Right. That's something else they did in Minnesota too.
Yeah.
He tackled gun reform. You know what I mean? See, common sense things, it's okay.
But it's like, okay, now you can't kill 30 people at one time. You can kill just 5. It's like progress, but it's like, it's not the same thing. And even like the protests and riots in England right now, like, there was what they call a mass stabbing, and it was 3 little girls, but like, it was 3 people. Like, you can't get that many people with a knife at the end of the day.
But I'd rather have gun reform and gun control than not.
Absolutely. So definitely want some progress to be made in a lot of areas. But I don't think this particular presidential ticket is the one that's going to make some sort of massive change. I think it's more of a blocking maneuver to try and stop the other side from going further into their own agenda. But it's only a matter of time before they get back into power.
You think so?
Absolutely. I mean, history shows that, particularly once you, as a president, get 8 terms, the other side always wins.
Always flips.
It always flips. So like there's always sort of this balancing act of what kind of happens. But I don't know, maybe, history is never perfectly
100%
cycled
right.
itself. It always kind of changes with time.
Correct.
So final answer, Kamala wins, we pack up and move back, yes or no?
No.
No. Okay, I'm a no too. Yeah.
But guess what we're going to do? We're voting.
Absolutely.
We did not burn our cards, our Social Security cards. We didn't,
They ain't worth nothing anyway.
But you understand what I'm saying, right? So we have ordered our absentee ballots, and so we're going to be voting. So we're encouraging you guys to vote, to learn about the candidates, to get into that national, and like I said, those local elections.
They're probably
there's
more important than the national.
Guys. So I definitely want to encourage you with that. But I just want to touch on the grandchildren piece, though.
All right, go ahead.
I
was just trying to be cute and you ain't had nothing to say.
But I would be on the plane so fast. Y'all be like, what in the world?
Now, to be clear, my oldest son and his wife live in Queens, 5-story walk up.
Oh yeah, they.
You're not running nowhere.
Women.
Or you might go up there and just stay.
Okay.
And never come back down.
Correct.
Yeah.
There you go. I get my priorities straight.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, at last little bit, the past month, as you can see, is a huge change. It was a huge,
as far as the excitement
political,
around.
yeah. It was a huge political shift, and I just want to take a moment to just say thank you to President Papa Joe, and that is what I've called you for the past 4 years, President Papa Joe, and I don't think he would be offended by that. I appreciate his sacrifice over the past 50, 60 years, and the past couple of years, I think he did the right thing. For sure. And at the same time, he also what he did a month ago, he actually is fulfilling what he said he was going to do. 4 years ago, he was like, okay, cool. I see this fool is really, really he's going to take us to hell in the handbasket. So he stepped in to sacrifice all this. He knew he was getting older then. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if I agree with your narrative the way you're painting it right now.
Well, what I remember,
I think he thought, I'm still spry, I still got it, I'm gonna go run again. And he actually said before that he was only gonna run once.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
So like, if you see that there's a problem coming, okay, who is the best person to go up against?
Yeah, but the
he thought it was himself.
Always,
as a human being, you feel like I still got it. And at some point, somebody lets you know that you ain't got it.
Right.
And that debate showed that he ain't got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
and
I wish he had kind of stepped
right?
aside a little bit sooner.
I know.
So we'd be maybe in a better place at this point.
I know. That was.
But
wild,
I mean, the
though.
excitement that's generated now might be better this way than it kind of happened late. Who knows?
Correct. I just appreciate him. I just want to take that time to say I appreciate you.
That is not my perspective. I don't put my faith in man at all.
Oh no!
I'm not saying you're doing that.
I'm just telling the brother thank you.
He's doing what he has to do when he has to do it.
Yeah.
So he thought he was good enough to go on carry through for another 4 years. He is not.
Yeah, he was.
He should have realized that a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
But either way, we are where we are right now, and we'll see how it turns out from a distance, from afar over here.
Yes.
But whatever happens there affects here too. So like,
that
these two countries are very connected. We can't get away from that.
We're connected by more than just power lines.
Yes.
If y'all know where that's from, drop it in the comments. But y'all got to comment, please. For the record, commenting. Thank y'all. You comment, you send out questions, you let us know what's on your minds and your hearts. Y'all, some of y'all leaving, dissertations, but we read them. Mostly my husband, but we do read them, and we thank you for taking time because we appreciate you. For
and it's important that you guys comment and participate. Number one, so we know y'all are out there.
Yeah, and subscribe,
but
y'all.
Number two, when y'all comment and give us feedback, that's what creates more episodes. That what gives us ideas to say, hey, we should talk about this because you guys care about it and you're talking about it.
That is so true.
And on that note, we're going to shut it down for this week. And if you kind of watch us or you watch other YouTubers who go through Mexico, kind of give you some, background on what they're going through, we have a video for you of things that maybe they're not telling you about Mexico. Maybe they're painting this perfectly rosy picture, or maybe they're painting a perfectly grim picture. But the reality is probably somewhere in the middle, and I think that's what we try to give you week after week.
Tacos, tulips, and tequila.
Yeah.
There's more.
More to it than that.
We promise you it's more.
So catch the next video at the end screen about all the things that those other YouTubers really aren't telling you. It's a big compilation of a lot of things that we've said so far. And as always,
cuídense. Cuídate.
Arias Garce. Take care and take a chance. And we'll see y'all next week.
Y'all be good. Be safe. Register to vote.
This is the 7997 Podcast, your home for raw and honest conversation, featuring Chris and Jacki, with new episodes every Sunday, wherever you get your podcasts.